He didn't want to give me much advice, but he said, "I'll tell you three things. Number one, just be Dabo." He said, "Just be who you are, and you'll be fine." And he talked about having a good financial planner and the volatility of the business, and then he talked about no job is worth sacrificing your family. That's really the three bits of information he gave me. But you know, so I don't. I'm not trying to be anybody other than me, so I don't really know how to answer that. So I just, am I going to take one knee or put one hand on my face or something? I'm just going to coach. Just the way I've always coached. I coach wideouts and coached my whole life, and I've always coached a certain way. And I just now have a bigger segment, and I get to coach everybody. So.
Do you think the players are more in tune with you and each other, and you can solicit more focus from them this year because they're not going through such a stressful transition?
Well, we're all on the same page. There's a lot of emotions that go into a coaching change. You have a head coach that you respect, that recruited you, and so forth, and you're dealing with the disappointment of where you are in the season, and now you've got a new voice, and that voice is saying things differently, doing some things differently, different demands and so forth. But that's why I was so proud of that team, because they did buy in. But now, like I said, we've been able to go through an off-season program and a spring practice and implement the things that we want to do for the long haul. So I do feel a great sense of team unity. The guys have a real spirit about them. They've worked hard this summer, and I think they're really as anxious to get started as I am. So I think we're all, together, and that's what we preached this spring. It was team, tempo, and toughness. Team being first, because if we're going to get it done, we got to get it done as a team. And as a team, I think we can have a very successful season.
Are you going to use Spiller and Harper on the field at the same time and put Spiller in the slot?
Oh yeah. You'll see us do some two-back type stuff, just like we always have with James. There'll be different guys. It could be Harper, it could be Ellington, it could be Rendrick. There's a lot of combinations that we could use. But CJ obviously is very dynamic, and one of the best things he's done is he's really grown as a player, and he can line up in different places. But he'll be in the backfield a lot as well.
Dabo, a lot of people talk about CJ's ability to change the game pretty much on any given play. Fun to be around a guy like that, and fun to be practice with a guy like that.
Oh man, he's special. I mean, I don't know if y'all. Tony Dungy wrote a book and talks about the uncommon man. And CJ's uncommon, in a very common world. This is a unique individual that is a tremendous player, from a football standpoint, and he's also a tremendous track star. He's a Dean's List student. He's graduating in December in 3.5 years. Are you kidding me? This guy, if anybody deserves a poster and deserves to be promoted as what college athletics should be about, is C.J. Spiller. He's a real student athlete, and as I said, just an uncommon kid. And he goes about his business in a very humble way. He's the hardest worker. He just is always trying to get better. He doesn't have to have study hall, but he's over there in study hall. He just is always working. Really proud of how he's grown as a person, and I think that he's got a chance to have a great season. And then you look at what he's done in his career as a co-star. He's been a co-star in a support role, and he needs 900 yards to be the all-time ACC all-purpose leader. I mean, that's incredible to me. And now he's got a chance to be the featured guy in the leading role, and I think the sky's the limit for him. I really do. I think he's one of, if not the best player in college football, and the season's going to tell the story, but he certainly deserves the opportunity to be promoted as that.
Along those lines, not to put him on the spot, but obviously a big post, there's high expectations for him. What do you personally expect to see out of him?
Well, you know, the thing, I just pray for him to stay healthy. The rest take care of himself. You know, he's just grown so much as a player. You know, he came in as a freshman, and you know, he's coming out of a wing tee, and he's learning how to run the zone and different type of schemes. And you know, a lot of times we cut on air, or wasn't patient, or was too fast. And had a lot to learn about route running and just where his eyes should be, and all those things. And he's just such a more complete player. He gets it. You know, and if he stays healthy, I'm not worried about CJ. He will be very, very productive. I don't really have, is there a number? You know, I mean, okay, you got to rush for 1,000 yards. Whatever. I don't have a number or anything like that. I just know as he goes, we're going to go. So I'm excited to give him an opportunity to touch it a bunch.
Coach, is this the first time you've been around a lot of the other coaches in the league, and what's it been like?
Well, really, the first time was at Amelia Island back in May, and you know, I'll tell you, we got a great group of guys. These guys have been very gracious and welcoming to me. They're good people, and I think they all care about their programs and care about doing things the right way, and you know, trying to have the right kind of ethics in this profession. You know, so I'm just proud to be a part of this conference and this group of men. But this is the second time that we've really come together as a group. So it's been fun.
A little different than in the SEC where they're trying to cut each other's throats.
Well,
a little more collegial.
Well, you know, I'll say this about this conference. You know, it's very interesting. I'd say it's a very underrated conference, very balanced. You know, it's primarily, I would say, probably been a defensive league, at least the last few years. If you look at the top 20 defenses in the country, probably 7 or 8 of them have been ACC defenses. And then we've had, I think, the most first-rounders drafted in the last 4 or 5 years in this conference. Been to more bowl games than any other conference in the last 4 or 5 years. And, oh, by the way, the highest graduation rate of any conference. So, you know, we just, you know, I think we're doing it the right way. I think we've got a great commissioner, and, you know, we're just going to get better.
There seems to be obviously some, I think you've picked up on it, some intrigue over the Georgia Tech matchup. And I think it's probably like that with about everybody because they're so different. When you look back at that game last season, given the circumstances who had to go in to play them, are you surprised that you were still in it as late in the game as you were, or was it an aberration, or do you have the kind of skill that's always going to allow you to be in a game with a unique offensive scheme?
Well, the biggest thing to me was, you know, when you go through a situation like we were dealing with over a 3-day period there, you just and you have there's a lot going on. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of, you know, just, you know, trying to throw water out of the, you know, trying to bail water out, you know, as fast as you can go. You never really know if you're reaching a group of guys until you see them play. And, you know, I know they made a great play there at the end of the game, and they win the game. Give them a lot of credit for that. And you know, and I took a little bit of criticism after that game, I think, because of my reaction. But I was so enthused because of how they played. And we didn't do everything smart, but they played hard. They played with passion. They played with toughness. They played together the way football's supposed to be played. And so, you know, and here's a group of guys that just, I mean, they just laid it on the line. And so when I walked in that locker room, you know, I told them I was proud of them. You know, and I knew right then, we had a tough road to go, going to Boston College, going to Florida State, going to Virginia, playing South Carolina, playing Duke, but I knew we had a chance. Right then and there, I knew that we had made some progress. A long way from being a great team, but we had made progress in a short time, and so it was very critical to keep them together and for them to see, even though we didn't get the results we want, we were heading in the right direction. And then we were able to, you know, go up to Boston College and win up there with a place we'd never ever won, and that was a great first win for that group of guys. And I think that kind of sparked us into being able to win 4 out of 5 and you know, get to the Gator Bowl and all that stuff. So it's how we played that encouraged me.